1099 A-OK-A 1099 A-OK-A 1099 A-OK-A 1099 A-OK 1099 abandoned or acquisition by the way of the IRS, the Treasury and the IMF, the bank babies with the gold footprints. Water Street tried to market me, I had to hit him with a 1099 OID. 100 kings and queens of King Raji. I did a Form 56 and put the trustee on the crucifix. Now watch this.
Kings and queens, clash your swords. Yeah. You kings and queens already know.
100 kings and 100 queens?
Show 'em. Yeah! And if there was water up under my boat, I'll roll. Yeah! So we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll them like some duckies, line them up, shoot them. Pop. Alright. King Stevian checking in with y'all. Finna try to get a lot of these videos out to y'all before the end of man's corporate year. Okay? I got, let me see. I got a video. Let's look at what video I have. I got a video coming out. Let's see where it is. Got a lot of stuff over here, paperwork, a lot of civil registrations I'm getting done before the end of the year. We're in the man's year. But anyway, you got get custody of your child for those who need to get custody of their child. What else I got? I had another one. Something dealing with the silver, I think. What's dealing with the silver? Might be the, the where and when to send. Okay? Stuff for the, taxes. Okay? Last part. Got to send that stuff out to everybody who got the, purchased the actual class, which is a 6-part class teaching on filing your trust taxes and your last tax filing. So it's all in one. All right. So no questions be asked. Well, what I'm going to do is, and I'm about to show y'all something here about all these, while y'all looking at the screen, all these corporations that be sending y'all emails, spamming y'all, soliciting, sending stuff through the actual physical mail. I'm going to show y'all how to handle those in a minute. But back to what I was saying. The tax class is a 6-part tax class. It is $325 for the entire USB. So you got everything in there. You can send that payment over to paypal.me/STT Estate Trust. Okay, and down in the description, make sure you put your name, full name, first, middle, and last, because I don't want to be going to prison behind you because you want to put a fake name. Okay, don't do that. But and your physical address. Don't put no P.O. box, because I'm telling you, if it get lost in mail, I am not going to be the one responsible for sending another one. You just pay for a blank trip to your mailbox, because it ain't gonna never arrive. But what we're gonna do is do a class a month starting next month. Maybe in another week I'll release the first one again to the public. It's already on YouTube, but those who are subscribing for $29.99, y'all be able to see that if you haven't already saw it. So if you want to start seeing the tax classes for 4 months, you get all 6 classes within those 4 months, but you have to pay the $29.99 per month to see them, okay? And they're only going to be up for a limited time. They're only going to be up for 30 days. So if you're not paying the $29.99 right now or next month, you need to get on the bandwagon, because after January 29th, I think I'm going to take that one down. And then I'm going to put up the second class, which no one has seen. Okay? And then the third month, I'm going to put up the third class. The fourth month, I'll be putting up 4, 5, and 6. Okay? This one, what I'm about to release, is going to be limited. Okay? Maybe a week. Telling you where to send it to. Okay? Or I might not even release it. Okay? It's up to me. So, subscribe right now in the description. It should say join, or go to my front page on my YouTube, and it should say join, subscribe, $29.99 per month. You can look somewhere about the description, and it should be a join button. Okay? Member, subscribers. Okay? So, what we're talking about today is how to handle these solicitors. Okay? One thing I'm fed up with is getting these emails from these corporations that I have no idea where the hell they get my information from. You know, they're saying King this, King that. Ain't even the name. And I'm not signing up for anything. Okay? But the problem is, when you get your assumed name, one of the main problems is, and everyone needs to send this to your Secretary of State, handwrite it in purple. When you get your assumed name, you need to write the county or the state and let them know, put your king name, or queen name, comma, your all caps name, first, middle, and last, if you got the assumed name, and comma, and then the license number. And that's another thing y'all need to learn how to do. Y'all need to do a copyright on your license number. Because when these companies write to you, what they will do is they will put your license number in the email. You cannot use a license number. That's your license. A license is, how can I say it? Is IP. It's intangible property, intellectual property. They cannot use that. And if they send it through transmission, then they owe you. That's $100 million. See, this one company I'm not even playing with. I said I'm not going to write them. I know there was a couple companies I wrote to and told them to cease and desist, emailed them, and they just ignored it. So now what I'm going to do now, and I suggest every last one of y'all do the same. Don't do no talking. Don't do no mailing. Don't do no emailing. Just hit them. Because who gave them the right to use your data? And the reason I'm making this video is because all of our data is being sold. There's a billion-dollar industry right now from data. Okay? Actually, in the billions. This is why they're building all these data centers. They're selling your stuff to AI. You see what I'm saying? You look on the internet, you look up your license number, then you'll see your name on all these different websites. Some of y'all have Duns and Bradstreet numbers and accounts set up, and you didn't even set it up. That's use of your IP. So imagine if I could take your assumed name, license number, or your assumed name, and start posting it on all these different sites without your permission. That's use of your name. That falls on this form right here that I'm finna show y'all on the screen, 4797. It says sales of business property, also involuntary conversions, okay, and recapture amounts. They should recapture the amount that they stole of the value. Even though the name that I'm using is way more than just 100 million. But when you get to about 100 million, you know, the Treasury going to cap that off, but you can get more than that through direct deposit, just to let you know. But I want to teach y'all that when y'all dealing with your names, like they didn't even use the WIFIT, but the WIFIT controls the ministry. The ministry been around for a long time. Okay? And anytime, and we don't supposed to be having any other business licenses besides the assumed name, but mine's is exiting out anyway. So the last year, this next year is going to be the last year using that ministry name in the public. Okay? But regardless if it's used in the public with a license number or not, it still falls up under the WIFIT, And anything that falls up under the WIFID itself falls up under the foreign trust. So all those other things actually fall up under the estate, and then the trust handles all that. See? So no matter if it's a sister company that you created, a DBA, it's actually your DBA should be your sister companies. Those are the ones that just, you just, like right now I got the Stevie Tyrone Thompson WIFID. If I wanted to, I can use the same tax ID number and use for, say for instance, 100 Kings Hill Pills. 100 Kings, 100 Queens Hill Pills. I can put it up on that without getting a license because it's just a DBA. So any name that you have that your trust has taken over falls up under the IP. That is a IP. Any name you think of that you're using in commerce, okay, it falls up under your IP. That's intellectual property, intangible property, and intangible property. Okay, y'all need to make sure y'all go look those two up. All right? So, I just want to show y'all the things that you got to do when these people first mess with you. Let me go to the invoice. The first thing you want to do, I don't know why I erased that. Let me go pull this up. Let me pull this up here. Let's go pull up the... There we go, right there. Okay, so this is the one I'm looking for. This is the invoice that I made, right? So, to this company. So I got my Fins and Gens number right there to let them know I'm able to tax them because they're coming into another jurisdiction. And this company was U.S. Filing Services. That's their name. I gave them 7 days. So it ain't no talking. It ain't no cease and desist. They know better. And this is something we, like I said, we all need to start doing, stop all the talking. Because there was no talking to negotiate to use my data. Or the trust's data. Okay? The names is data. It's actually assets. And I'm going to prove it to you. Go look up 50 Cent's, and I just looked at this last night. Because I wanted to know the name of his company. And when I looked up the spirits company he has, on his website, it has a title that says assets. And that, when you look under the assets, it's pictures of the bottles. It's pictures of the label. It's pictures of the name. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand what assets is. Anything, any type of data dealing with that name, a picture of it, a saying of it, the voice. I mean, if that was a voice of it, the slogan, the jingle, however you want to put it. Okay? You got to understand what the data is and how deep it goes. All right? So, there's no talking. Just send them the invoice. Because they should have learned that in order to do business with somebody, you got to introduce yourself. Okay? Don't just send me something saying, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. You know, they were sending something about a renewal. Listen, that's the state's job to do that, not yours. If you bought that information from the state or if the state sold it, and that's what I was telling y'all earlier, make sure you write the state and tell them not to use none of those names, the number, the license number, and don't give it to no one. Send them that privacy notice. Okay? Y'all need to type in on Google, Department of Defense, privacy notice. If it won't come up, it should be yellowish. Type in yellow privacy notice, and it should come up. And you're going to print those off, a bunch of those, and start sending those out. Anytime you do business with the state, with anything, authentications, send that out. Okay? So, send them an invoice. First thing you want to do is make your invoice. Get the barcode from it. This barcode right here is going to be for your certificated deed. Okay? And it's also going to be for your assignment deed. Okay? This is the invoice. Now, on the send that I send out, this isn't a regular deal where like you're getting a bill. I'm just hitting them up with the invoice. Okay? They didn't send me no bill to where I have to settle or any of that. So it's kind of different. Now you're hitting them with the invoice because you're trying to get your money. And what am I hitting them with? I'm hitting them for what? Let's go down here. 124 million. That's 100 million for the violation of the copyright, and then that's 24 million for the taxes. The IRS are already going to go after them anyway for their portion, which is the 24 million, and I'm not going to advance them the 24 million anyway. But what I did do on this invoice at the bottom, I stamped it with my silver, so that way they can't say that they didn't get none of value, just in case they don't see it through the license number. Okay? So I hit them with that too, on the slide. So I got that. It says this warrant, a warrant is a guarantee for payment of the claim has been issued. Okay? So they need to give a guarantee. Okay? It's up to them to go to the Treasury now, however they do it. They don't do it, then they're going to have a lien on them. All right? Description, interest fee, lawful money from usage of company name and address and license number. Boom, and then I put the license number. Through public transmission plus federal income tax on fee. And then I signed that, which I signed it. Okay? Power of attorney, in fact, trustee, fiduciary of, and that's the name that I put on the 1099-A. Okay? And it says for payment of RPI / collectible usage. So I'm going to go down the line. I'm going to show you the different things. Let's see here. All right, so you got your 1099-A. Okay? Now, Ghost was asking me about this earlier, dealing with a bill for his last tax filing. And anytime, I'll tell all you this, if you're going to use your bank statements, you're only claiming the deposits. You cannot claim the expenses on a bank statement because the expenses was expensed when you dealt with the companies directly. So if you went to Foot Locker and bought some shoes, that's them you have to deal with. You can't deal with the bank on that. You got to settle that with the bank. You have to settle it first before you start doing all these 1099-As and stuff. Okay? Now on this, I don't have nothing to settle. They have to settle because this is an invoice to them. Okay? And so if they don't answer this invoice, then I go straight to the Treasury, and the Treasury pay the money, and then have the bond put on it. This is where the 1099 OID and the 8281 really comes into play, which I'm not speaking about that on this one. I'm just giving you the first part. Don't want to bombard you with too much stuff. Okay, so this company, I put the information there. I got their tax ID number. I accidentally stumbled across this. I was not looking for their tax ID number. So I hit them with the $100 million. And they're liable? Yes, they are. You always check that. And on this one, I said lawful money fee for IP usage, 12 U.S.C. 411. Okay? And down here, I put the license number that they used. Okay? So it's going to get directed back to the ministry. And then when I get that money, then I just, probably just get that stuff out. Because that's what the ministry is all about. Okay? So that's the A. So this is dealing with when you are getting just junk mail, junk emails. Stop talking. Just get there, go look up their information and start doing A's and B's and do all this stuff I'm showing y'all here on it. Okay? So this is how you put it. Lawful money fee for IP usage. 12 U.S.C. 411, or you can put 18 U.S.C. 8. Okay? But make sure that 411 is close to the U.S.C. because they only let you get a certain amount of space here. But 18 U.S.C. space 8 will work. Okay? If you're wondering why it was close together. Okay? So the fair market value is still the same. Actually, my fair market value is actually more than this because my fair market value right now for my copyright is at $1 billion. So I should have put $1 billion, but I just went in and put $100 million. Okay? I can always go and correct it if I wanted to. Now I'm going over to, after you do your A, because you got to claim the debt. Remember, a claim has to be made before an assignment is done. I can't assign them to go to the Treasury. I still have to assign them to go to the Treasury. Even though it's their debt, I'm assigning them. You know, it's no different from the courts assigning you to pay a fee. They're really assigning you to go to the Treasury. And then when you go to the Treasury, you pay the debt. If you watch the video that Yusufel showed y'all about the guy who had the apartment complex rent problem, the judge was trying to throw him some hints. But that's what's supposed to happen, the assignment. Okay, so you acquire it, whether it's your debt, their debt, you acquire it because it's still a claim. Abandonment, acquisition, or abandonment. You're not abandoning your name or your license number. Okay? So I'm acquiring it back from their asses because they're using it. Get it? Now, next you're going to go do an 8288A. 8288A, okay, really what I did first, I did the B, 8288B first, because of the application for withholding certificate for dispositions by foreign persons of U.S. real property interest. Now, what makes this U.S. real property interest? Let's go back over here. Down here is the account, the account number. I put the license number. That is the asset. A license is the asset. All y'all idiots out there who think a driver's license is not an asset, it is. It's IP. It has a value on it. And you got to know how to use it. The thing about it is, it's the use of the name that you have. Okay? So when you go get a business, like you can even do an assumed name on your address to stop people from writing you. Do a common law copyright on it with the barcode you get from me, which is $25 for those who are just listening. Send it to that PayPal address and put your name and number and stuff on there so I can contact you. Okay? But they're using that. Okay? So that's a disposition. They actually stole it. And again, this is why you use the 4797. Also involuntary conversions. So then use the license number in public. They also use the name, Cityside Ministries, in the public. So now they got to pay. Hope y'all getting this. So I put their name here. They're the transferor because this is the mess they're sending. They're sending their solicitations to me, so they're transferring the solicitations. Okay? When I looked up this company, I found out they're foreign as well. They're foreign. Okay? So that should go straight through. But even though Cityside Ministries is up under the WIFIT to make some type of money or whatever it's doing, charity, that's why it's under the WIFIT, and then the WIFIT works for the estate and the foreign trust. Okay? But the WIFIT is still foreign, but it's operating in U.S. jurisdiction. But it has to protect all the names up under Stevie Tyrone Thompson and associated with it, all the sister companies, baby companies, subsidiaries. So they're the transfer. The ministry and the WIFIT handles it, but it's the transferee. The ministry can't accept none of this stuff. The WIFIT does. Because anything that's sent through the mail is an asset. It's an IOU. Okay? You need to realize that. Because when they're sending you stuff through the mail, that's money. Okay? Lawful money for you. So, I put all that. They're the withholding agent. And some of y'all already seen this stuff before, but I'm showing it to you again. Now, this company here, I don't know if they have a trust or not. I just put NA. That's all you have to do, put NA. But you're going to put their address. They're the withholding agent. Same thing as number 1 would be the same thing as number 4A. Okay? Now, when it comes down here, the date they sent you the mess through the mail or through the email, you put that date there. And the contract price is $100 million. Well, the company don't know that. Well, they should never just use the IP. They know, if they don't listen, if a company don't know that your license number and your license name is IP, intangible property, intellectual property, then they're dumb. They shouldn't be in business if they don't know that. All right? So I check real property, rental or commercial, says or commercial. Okay? So you got 6C, that's the real property. 6D is rental property. Okay? And there's no adjusted basis here because I'm going straight after the 100 million. If there's anything extra like fiduciary fees, then you would add that on and then bring that down here. So it'd be 100 million plus whatever other fees. Okay. Location. Okay, they ask for the location, they ask for the description of the property, and they ask where is it? Pretty much all the interest, the amount of the interest. Class type, I put RPI, that's real property interest. Real estate property interest, comma, shares of real estate interest. Okay, that's shares of it because that's an ownership in the name. Okay, and it has a value, it carries it, definitely got a value. And then amount, then it's located, boom, that's their address on their servers. So they need to release it. Okay? So they asked all that in here, and so you got to break all that down. The amount, where is it located? You have it, but they have the shares of it because it was disposed of. Okay? And so you go down on G. That's the date it was filed when you do your 1099A, the date of that file, and you put here, and you put file with 1099online.com. Okay? You're going to come down. You're going to check on 9A. You're going to check 1445E2, or it can be 1445E1. I can't too much remember which one it was that we did. It might have been this one, okay, E1. Okay, but on B, you're going to put applicant is what? The taxpayer, because they expect you as a transferee to pay the taxes. But you're flipping it and reversing it on the company, and that's how the bond is reversed on the company. Okay? And that's it on that. Right? So, next, you make sure you do your miscellaneous because they got an asset which they need to take off of their computer. Now, this also goes for if those who have DuckDuckGo, the browser, the tracking app on your phone, every now and then go in there and screenshot a list of all the apps that DuckDuckGo blocked. Open them up. You can click on them, open them up, and they have a breakdown of all the other apps that's associated with your main app that you have on your phone, one of the other apps. Like, say, for instance, you got SoundHound on your phone, right? While you're sleeping, SoundHound will allow these other apps to come in and look at your data. Well, you never told SoundHound to give that information away. So you're gonna file one of these on SoundHound, and you're gonna click on the link that's in there, and it's gonna break down all the other apps. You need to write all those down, a screenshot, go online and look up every last one of them and their address, and you're gonna send one of them the same thing that you're sending this company I'm sending this company right here, or the same one you sent to SoundHound. So each one going to get hit with 100 million. But every time you charge one, know that the value of your name, it goes up. So now the second company under SoundHound, because SoundHound was first, theirs would be 200 million. Then the third company would be 300 million. Fourth company, 400 million, and so on and so on and so on to keep going up into the billions. Every time they use it without your permission, they can't do that. That's why I told you, what you do is you take the barcode for your copyright, and you put it as the name of your phone. Okay? Go in your phone, change the name of your phone to your barcode number for those who have the copyright. So anytime they use any data from your phone, they're using something associated with your copyrighted name. Okay? And then you're going to go look that company up, get all their information, and do the same thing I'm telling y'all to do here. Okay? I'll be doing another video showing y'all the rest of the things that I did. Okay? All right? So this is the miscellaneous because they received something that was an asset. And according to the IRS, if you do a 1099B, then you have to do a 1099 miscellaneous, showing that you gave something to them, or they stole it. So they took it, it's 100 million. The only place you got to put something in is 100 million for the other income. Everything else is zero. you always check the FATCA filing box. The account number on this is your tax ID number, because that's where the funds are going to go. Okay? You can do that. Like I was telling someone, you can use the account number, but when it's coming down to the refund coming back, you do not want to put the account number of the other company. Okay? You put your tax ID number, which is up here, and this is a bank account number with the United States Department of the Treasury, and that's where the funds will begin wired to. Okay? That's where the refund goes. Now, on my other ones, my A and my B, I put the license number. So they can't wire it into the license number. They know that. Okay? But when you do your 1041Z, they'll know where it goes. So as I was telling one of the kings, it really doesn't matter what you put here, but make sure you put your tax ID number on at least one of these. I would suggest the B and the miscellaneous. Okay? Now, over here on the state, you find out what state that company is in, and you put their state over here, along with, your tax ID number. Taxes withheld will always be, state taxes will always be 0. So that way the state go after them for the state taxes. And then you put the income that they made from it. $100 million is what they made. So if it's $200 million, you put $200 million. And this is how they're going to get taxed. They're going to get taxed by the state. Then they're going to get taxed by the IRS because they didn't pay any federal income tax. Okay? 0. Put 0 there. I don't know why I hate this goddamn thing here. Okay? So next we go over to, let's go back to the A, because you got to do your A, 8288A, and this goes to the IRS together. Right? What I would also do, the IRS already got the miscellaneous, the A and the B, because you did it online. You can send the invoice that you're invoicing them with to the IRS with this. Okay, so they have the IRS have a good explanation, but most time they don't need that. They'll come after them anyway for the taxes. So you fill this out, the A out, the same way you do the B. Okay, the name of the transfer, the transferee. Okay, it's simple and plain. The gain recognized by the foreign corporation. Okay, it's really them, the withholding agent, because we didn't have no gain. Okay, it says recognized by the foreign corporation. We recognize that they got $100 million. They're foreign to us. So $100 million, the amount realized is $100 million because I notified them with the invoice. 1445. Other is always going to be in trust, and my country is Kenya. Okay, City-side ministries. And then I put the trust, because the trust is working on behalf of the ministry. And then I put the Kenya address and then the mailing address. That is not my address there. So don't think that's my mailing address. It's not. All right? It's where I get mail. All right? And then you got to go fill this out the same way. Copy and paste it to the next page, which is copy B. That get mailed to the IRS. Okay? And then you got copy C, which you send to this company up here, since they have to withhold from their own self. Okay? Send them a copy. Send the IRS their copy. Along with the IRS get this. Right? And then you keep your copy. Well, the IRS, that's the IRS, excuse me. Internal Revenue Service for use by foreign persons. So this is your copy here, and the top one is the IRS. Okay, don't get them mixed up. All right? So, that's it. Shares of RPI and IP usage. Okay, it's very simple. No federal income tax taken out, 0. Right? For your B, here's the miscellaneous. Is the 1099B. We went over the A already. And what we're talking about, for those who just jumped in without going to the beginning, we're talking about hitting these solicitors up. Okay, those who send you stuff through email, those who come on your phone and try to track your information. And what I would do, I would hit them 100 million for everything that they try to get. So if they try to use, on DuckDuckGo, they'll tell you the things that they steal from you or use of you. It might be your name. It might be your location. It might be the type of phone. It might be using what type of firewall on your phone. Hit them 100 million for each one. Okay? And DuckDuckGo will tell you what all they'll take. Just hit them for all those. If it comes up to 20 billion, then it comes up to 20 billion. They shouldn't be messing with you. Because when you send them that invoice, they'll stop. For use of phone number, boom, 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 on your invoice, that's what you're going to put, the phone number. And then you're going to put beside that of property, and then you put your barcode number. Okay? So here we go. Here you're going to use A, that's short term. That's short. It's an alcohol checkbox on form 8949. But we're going to be doing the 4797 instead of the 8949. Going to hit A, that's short term, report it to the IRS. Again, IP usage and RPI shares collectible. I put collectible. Okay? Because down here, you check the box collectible on 3. Okay? Down here, state identification number, tax withheld 0, Florida, that's where they are. No CUSIP numbers. You never put CUSIP numbers. FACA requirement, check that box. Account number, that's the license number. Well, they didn't put that there. Okay? Because that's the uses of, that's what they used actually. Okay? That is the usage that they done. They're the recipient. You're the payer. You paid them what? Usage of your license. Okay? So if it's your barcode number, that would be your barcode number. Okay? Now, short term, right there. Collectible. It's 100 million. And with 100 million, the accrued market value is what is the amount that will be gained after it's held by the Treasury or the bond is held on the stock market. If it's short-term, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, most of the time it's anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5%. Sometimes it can go as high as 7. What I did on this one, I think I did 3.5%, and then, yeah, and I got 3.5 million that would be gained if it was held for 1 to 2 years, okay? On this debt of 100 million. Okay? And I'm going to sell that to the Treasury. That's what you're doing. You're trading. So trading is still in effect, live and well. 6 is gross proceeds, reported to the IRS. You're going to check that. Everything else is 0. 2, short-term gains. Check that box. Collectible, check that box. 5, nothing. 6, gross proceeds. 7, nothing. 8, nothing. 9, nothing. 10, 11, nothing. 12, you're going to check that box. FATCA requirement box over here, you check. Okay? And bartering is the same amount that you have on 2. Where is my 2? Oh, my 2. Excuse me, on 1E. 1E, cost or other basis. Why is the cost or other basis? Cost or other basis is, what did it cost me? It cost me 100 grand of 100 million of my name, of my license. They used that. They took that. They stole that. They're prostituting it. So that's the barter amount. Right there. Right? That's it on that one. So we go over, got the 4797. Again, I haven't filled that out, but you need to know why you use that. And it says right here, the sale or exchange of property. The involuntary conversion of property and what? Capital assets. Is your copyright not a capital asset if it's $100 million? Yes, hell it is. Then you got the disposition of non-capital assets. So even if you don't want to claim it as a capital asset, there you go, non-capital asset. The disposition of capital assets not reported on Schedule D. If you're not doing a Schedule D, 1041 Schedule D, then you put it where? 4797. See what I told y'all? It's going to be the 4797 or the 8949 or the 1041D is the choice you have to use when it comes to the capital assets. You're getting rid of your capital assets, your silver, your gold, your song you got from me. And by the way, y'all need to go purchase that song on Amazon, the album. It's only $2 and some cent, okay? And you got $1 billion deed. $1 billion to settle your debts. But some of y'all sitting like lumps on the log and not getting it. I'm going to take it down and put it back up, and you're going to have to pay more. Okay? And by the way, the song, All That Money, is coming out soon. Got to build up the anticipation before it comes out. But it's going to be about 15 tracks. It's going to be the song, the acapella, the instrumental, and then it's going to be the breakdown of the song and the lyrics. Okay? So it's going to be a whole album, a bunch of different tracks, so that way the value goes up on that album. And that is a classic for you. That's memorabilia, a collectible, art. And that's something y'all got to understand. When y'all buy these albums, they give y'all the art with it. And that art has a value because it has a copyright on it. So understand what y'all getting when y'all buy from me. Okay? It ain't like I'm getting the whole thing anyway, but at the same time, you can settle the debt on that with Amazon and get way more. Okay? Matter of fact, let me skip over here real quick. Shouldn't be even talking about it. Let's go to calculator. Let's go to calculator. Some of you got to break this thing down like a goddamn child. I think it's 249 if I'm not mistaken. Let's see where we at. Amazon folded. The album is folded. Go get it. And it is 258. It's 258. So we take 258. So you settle that, and if yours is 500, you settle that with Amazon, then what you're going to get back is $1,290. That ain't nothing for the Treasury to spit that back out at you. So if you spent $2 and some, and your rent is due, you already got your rent right there. So stop whining, talking about you don't got no rent money, you don't got no light bill money. There you go. If that was your light bill, your phone bill, and a little groceries, there you go right there. You might say, King, groceries cost that whole damn thing. Probably so. But anyway, see, you get your 258 back, and you get that back. And that is guaranteed. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at the video called Proof the Lawful Money Process Works. And you'll see. No need for me to lie to you. Okay? Some of y'all can't even spend $2.58. That nigga ain't worth no $2.58. Okay, well, you ain't worth the $1 billion then. That's a shame. But anyway, let's get back over here so I can finish up. So it says the gain or loss for partners and S corporation shareholders from certain Section 179 property dispositions by partnerships and corporations. And if you know what Section 179 is, that's dealing with your, oh my God, it's right at the tip of my tongue. It's when you have real estate. Okay, let's put it that way. Real estate, right? And you can go look it up and see it's more just dealing with real estate, dealing with that as well. Okay, so the computation of recapture amounts under Section 179 and 28FB2 when the business use of Section 179 or listed property, or your real estate, decreases to 50% or less. So depreciation is the word I was looking for. Okay? So I just thought about it. Okay, gains or losses treated as ordinary gains or losses. Let me pause right there for a second. So let me go back up to the real estate. When it comes to depreciation, we don't deal with depreciation, kings and queens, because our value only goes up. Ours can't depreciate. Like I just told y'all, every time somebody uses it, the value goes up. See? And you know with a house, if someone uses it, the value do go down because they're in there boo-booing on the walls, busting holes through the walls. The goddamn dude threw the girl through the wall, bust her head through the wall. She fell down. She got back up, kicked him in the goddamn chest. His head hit the goddamn wall, and the whole dang wall fell down. Did you see that? I saw it. Okay, so just trying to put that visual in your head. But anyway, so gains or losses treated as ordinary gains or losses if you are a trader in securities or commodities and made a mark-to-market election under Internal Revenue Code Section 47F. Now, I don't know what 47F, so I'm not going to act like I do know what it is. But you can go look it up. Now, let me see if I can look it up with you. Because some of y'all be like, King, you don't know it. I knew you didn't know everything. I sure don't. I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. I don't know everything. I don't even know you, boy. Anyway, allows partnerships. So there go partnerships that are considered traders in securities or commodities to elect a mark-to-market accounting method. Okay, this means they can treat any appreciation. Not depreciation. Oh, well, there it is. It is depreciation right after that. Spoke too soon. Of their securities. Have you ever heard that? Depreciation of their securities. And commodities. Positions as ordinary income or loss, rather than capital gains or losses. That's interesting. This election can provide significant tax advantages, allowing eligible taxpayers to treat losses from sales of stocks and other securities as ordinary losses. And that's one that's on the 1099B. You can deduct your losses. Okay, so it do link back up with the B. Okay, so that's that. And then you go over to your 4797, which I'm not about to go over. We'll talk about that in another video when I come back with part 2 of this to break everything down on how to serve these solicitors. That's what you want to call them. Okay? So, this is an invalid conversion. And you also do the same thing for courts, child support, tickets that y'all get. I showed y'all the game right here. Okay? Starting to leak a whole bunch of stuff out because why? I'm getting ready to head the hell out of here. Okay? Think I give a care anymore? I don't. I really don't. It's time to go. Time to get gone. Now I mean, oh man, we got the W-9 over here. What did I want to talk about this W-9? Let's see. Let's go break some words down real quick. Merchant. A person or company involved in wholesale trade, especially one dealing with what? Foreign countries or supplying merchandise to a particular trade. Now, for all you bozos who didn't think when I was telling y'all about 26 U.S.C. 1445 is about import, export. Okay? The 8288, or the 8822, excuse me, A and B's deal with same thing. Foreign, domestic. If one is foreign and one is domestic, how am I going to get the beans that they're going to sell me? How am I going to get them? Meet them halfway? No, it's import-export. This is where your 1099 OIDs and 8281s come into play. We already read the instructions on that on the video that I did. So all y'all who keep trying to stick to this domestic mess, get the hell out of here. They are foreign to us and we're foreign to them. And I hope y'all have drilled this in your own heads by now. Okay? That's what this whole thing is dealing with. Trump did a shake-up with us when he sat here and put ISIS on everybody. All right? So let me go on to this next definition. Instrumentality. And I'm showing y'all these for a reason. The fact of quality of serving as an instrument or means to an end. Colons, semicolons, agency. You get it? A corporate body, watch this now, can act only through the instrumentality of human beings. And that's a true sentence, even though they're using it as an example. That's why they want to make every last one of us dead. And God said he has no respect to what? Respect a person. Because a person is a what? Y'all get it? A corporate body can act only through the instrumentality of a human being. That's why when you have an assumed name and then you put your king as the goddamn owner, the king is the living being, not a human being, a living being. Okay, you don't want to put human being. That's an animal. That's a monster. Roar. I saw you look behind yourself. You were there looking behind yourself in the closet. Goddamn king just scared the hell out of me. I ain't going to sleep tonight. Not in the dark. But anyway, I read that for a reason. So we're going to get back over here with the W-9. I was going to do this on another video. That was the video I was going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it now. You can use the W-9, and I said this in another video, for status correction. But let me do this for as a reminder. Okay? Now, what I want to show y'all is you got the name of the entity. Okay? The business name, the disregarded entity name. It always should be your trust name up here. Can be your with it, but the straw man name goes on line 2. Now, you can put trust and estate. All right? They got LLC and they got other. Now, what would be the other? These are the two that you would do, other and the trust. Never do an LLC. Never. Don't do an individual sole proprietorship. Okay? You can do that. But if you do an individual sole proprietorship, then what you're saying is you're an instrumentality of the state. As the king and the queen, you are not an instrumentality of the state. You belong to a foreign country. You belong to your native Indian land, tribe. Okay? So I think the one we're using here is G, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll get to it in a minute. You got your address, all that. That's your mailing address. Make sure you put branch beside whatever address. Do not put a P.O. box. The requester's name, you always put whatever company it is for a job. You put their full name and address. Always over here. Okay? Now, the way you do this is, when you send this W-9 to the corporations that want to do business with you, whether it's for tickets, anytime you do anything, tickets, court, child support, you send them a W-9. Because the purpose of this form is to see who is tax exempt. And I was looking at this form the other day. I said, wait a minute. This form is to say, are you tax exempt? This isn't for them to withdraw taxes. That's why a lot of businesses or jobs don't want to deal with the W-9. They want to deal with, I think, the I-9. But no, you're supposed to be dealing with this. When you give them the W-9, that means they can't take out no taxes. They got to treat you like a 1099 worker that has nothing taken out. And under the IRS code, when it comes to these forms, whenever you turn in a new form like this, the old one has to get trashed. That is the law of the IRS. Okay? And I call it the law. But anyway. So, we go down here. You do not put your social no more. At this point in time, this name that goes on line 1 is the tax ID number, the employer tax ID number that goes there. So, you got 2, and then boom. Do not use your social. You just got rid of the social. Okay? And even if you was to put your social as the 2 numbers and then the rest, you're using that as an estate. Just to let y'all know. Okay? Put a line through this and then put it there. or you can use the tax ID number of your WIFIT or your 9A. All right? Sign there. Boom, boom, boom. Full name, first, middle, last. Okay? And it says of U.S. person. So this, your living name is not a U.S. person. And this is where they come at y'all because they don't want to hire you if you're not a corporation, because they figure a corporation they can tax. It's import-export again. They saying they gave you the labor when you gave them the damn labor. You're the transferor and they're the transferee in that case, so they're the ones that's being taxed. So y'all want to learn how to tax your job. What you do is you do them the same way I'm doing this stuff over here. Same way. Miscellaneous. 1099B. Okay? It ain't going to be a 4797 in this case. But you will be doing a 8288A, 1099A, and an 8288B. Now, some of you are like, well, how am I going to do the miscellaneous? Well, let me show you. Your job might pay you, let's say, $50,000 a year. They're supposed to pay you in lawful money. Okay? But your pay is, if your value, you say your value of your tribe, dollar, is 500 times that, 50,000 times 500, that's 25 million in lawful money. Now, if you want to make your principal the 50,000, you can do that. And then your fair market value would be 25 million. But really, what I would do, I would add the 50,000 with the 25 million and put it on 2 and put it on 4. And then when I go over to the B, on the miscellaneous, other income, they got your value. Remember that. Anytime you do a B, you have to do a miscellaneous. You put that same amount, that 25 million plus the 50,000, add it up and put it on other income. Everything else will stay the same that y'all did on the other one that I showed y'all. Okay? The account number is whatever your Social Security number is. Okay? 1099B, same thing here. Federal income tax bill? No. You gave them your labor. Your labor came first. The fiat came next, and the fiat is only a freaking IOU. It is not a payment. They're only taxing you because you did not turn it in and do what I'm showing you here. All y'all need to understand this. Fiat is an IOU. It's a negotiable instrument. It's a debt. What is a debt instrument? Something that shows proof that something is owed. You might say, well, King, you don't say that. Well, that's my definition, because that's in common sense, that's what it is. But it represents a debt. That's why it's called a debt instrument. You're going to do it the same way. Now, if you work at that job and you count 1 full year, then you do 1 year, short term, right here, boom, gross proceeds, all that stuff is reported. See right there it says gross proceeds? You're going to report that. So all y'all getting these W-2s next year, or the end of this year, you best to do it this way. Don't come to me saying, hey, King, I don't know how to do it. I'm showing you now. Cost and other basis. What is the cost? Your damn labor cost, your slave labor cost. That's what you're getting paid, your $25 million. If you got paid $50,000 a year, $25 million plus the $50,000. They only gave you an IOU, they didn't give you cash. That's why when you spend the fiat that they give you, when you cash your check and you give it to another place, like your rent people, that's still an IOU you gave to them. It's more IOUs being created every time you give away the fiat. Every time you write a check. Every time you use a debit card. Every time you use a credit. You have to settle the debt with what I showed y'all with this album. Right here. $2.58. Tell me it ain't worth it. King, stop selling. Stop selling it to me, King. I'm going to buy it already, goddammit. Okay. Go buy it. Go ahead and buy it. Ooh, go ahead. Go ahead. Anyway. So, Federal income tax. You did not take out any federal income tax. And the only difference here is you're still the payer. If it was them paying you, their name would be there. They ain't pay you shit. Because under the code, and King Franchise will tell y'all this, under the code, you can go under Chicago, they have it where they have to pay you. It's under the employment code. They have to pay you in lawful money if you ask. And I'm quite sure that where they took that code from a federal code. And that lines back up with 12 U.S.C. 8, 18 U.S.C. 8, 12 U.S.C. 411, 31 U.S.C. 3123, 31 U.S.C. 3727, and 31 CFR 240.14 through 17. You're supposed to sign the job to go to the Treasury to get your lawful money. I'm giving y'all some strong game here. Some of y'all just sleep on this stuff. You got to put a claim on it. You still got to have your certificated deed. You still got to have your power of attorney and stuff turned into the IRS because they're acting as your fiduciary. You need to fire them, and there's only one way to do that. Go watch my video on Precept 1, Power of Attorney, Precept 1, Form 56, and Precept 1, 2848. And do as I say in that video. Stop trying to cut corners. Some of you are stuck in these groups, these Moorish groups, and y'all don't want to let that stuff go. Some of y'all stuck in these past groups and don't want to let that mess go. Y'all trying to railroad me and the 100 Kings and try to go through this stuff and try to add stuff to what you already had. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. It's kind of like I slept with Betty Boop, and she had some kind of strawberry disease on her ass, and it passed down to me, and it was all over my damn thighs and all over my damn belly button, and then it got on my damn lips, even though I ain't kissed her down there. I probably kissed the end of the damn lips, and she probably was kissing her own damn self. That's how the hell she got it on her damn lips. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not going to go to somebody new with something that I knew Betty Boop gave me. She better boop her ass out because I'm going to give her the boop. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I hope that was good enough for you so you would be like, damn, I ain't going to, I'm letting all that old shit go. But anyway, I had to give it to you in a diseaseful kind of way so you'll be like, oh, shoot, I'm leaving that shit alone. Yeah, come clean. Come clean. All right? All right. So the job, again, you're going to add up all the proceeds. You're going to add up all the costs. What did it cost you? This is what it cost you. Your value is the cost. Because your labor comes before the payment. You might say, well, King, my job paid me this. No, they didn't. They gave you an IOU. Fiat legal tender is an IOU. To pay or to perform. So what the hell the job going to do? They're going to pay you or they're going to perform for you? What they going to do, get up there like Jay-Z with them big-ass goddamn camel lips trying to rap, sticking them all up, with them damn camel cigarettes sticking out his goddamn lips? Come on now. Pull them goddamn dreads. Nigga, give me my goddamn money, nigga. But anyway. So y'all see this, all this stuff is still the same. Right? Still going to say the same way I told y'all before. Okay? You know you got the tax ID number. I'm preparing y'all for next year. Okay? So, to get back over here, where were we? All right, so we was on the W-9. So we're going to go over here. Look at it, they got Form 1099 miscellaneous. Whew. Backup withholding, domestic trust. I want y'all to see this now. Definition of a U.S. person. U.S. person, so you got a domestic trust and estate other than a foreign estate. Now, how do you make it a foreign estate? I told y'all how to do that. Go watch my video on it. While y'all around here with y'all domestic ass. Y'all committing domestic violence all on me. Whooping my ass with that domestic ass EIN number you got. Running the numbers on me. But anyway, so I wanted to go down here to show y'all these codes. Where are we? All right, so the first one we have over here, exempt code. And an organization exempt from tax under 501A, IRA, or the custodial account. This is important. Custodial account. That's your bank account once your status is corrected. Okay? Now you got the United States and any of its agencies or instrumentalities. If you have not, let me say it again. If you have not merged your assumed name with your 98 number, then your assumed name is an instrumentality of the United States. Now, I want y'all to pay attention because I told you this is an exemption form. If you put 2 in these codes up here, right here, got your codes, exemption, once you give them this, they cannot take out any tax on you. Period. Period. Why? These are the exemption codes right down here now. Guys, these are the exemption codes. Right here. See here? Line 4, exemptions. Exempt payee code. Corporations are not exempt from backup withholdings with respect to attorney fees. See? Not exempt. But because they're not operating as an instrumentality of the United States. Your straw man is. You get an assumed name and your all caps name become an instrumentality. That's what helps correct your status. Now you're under sovereign immunity. Me and Mr. Golden Silver was talking about this because he did some deep research on it and he's accurate on it. You are exempt. You got one that says a state. Once the you got your assumed name, remember I told y'all become a state? Yep. And you get your EFTPS system letter from the IRS and the Treasury. Number 3. You can do 3 or 2, either one. Now, if you transferred your stuff over to your 9-8, then you will line up being number 4, a foreign government or any of the political subdivision agencies or instrumentalities. A corporation. But remember, they said these up here are not exempt. So you got to look in depth with that. That's why you don't mess with the LLCs. Told y'all. A dealer in securities. A futures commission. A real estate investment trust. That is what a WISIT is. Widely held fixed investment trust. It deals with real estate. You are exempt. So what you would do on line 1 up here is this would be your all caps name, first, middle, last, with WHFIT, all caps, with it. And then your all caps name, first, middle, last, what you was born with, not what you was married with, not what no Moors gave you, not what no Ibica GB cults gave you. That's where it would go. With it on 1, your real name on 2, what your mammy and pappy gave you. Okay? Never do the married name stuff. Never do the Moorish name stuff. 9, an entity registered at all times during the tax year under the Investment Company Act of 1940. A common trust fund. If you look at the 1041, they have a trust fund on there on the 1041 at the top on under line 1 and 2. And you'll see it. A financial institution, that is your foreign trust. Not the domestic one. A middleman known as an investment community as a nominee or custodian. Remember I told you about the custodian of the bank account? Also the nominee, what Gene Keaton talks about when it comes to the OID in 8281? Yes. 13, a trust company from tax under Section 664 are described in Section 4947. And then you got some more over here. F, Real Estate Investment Trust. That go again. So you got G. So if I do the with it, it'll be G, and it would be 8. 8 and G if you're using your with it. So you got to look at the numbers and look at the letters. And that's where they go back up at the top. Okay? So that's what I wanted to show y'all today. That's the end of the lesson for y'all who are trying to be exempt from y'all jobs, and they have to accept it according to the IRS. They have to. And this is how y'all get back at them when y'all get your W-2s. Now, next month or in a week or so, I will be doing a part 2 on this, dealing with the solicitors and the job stuff. Okay, we'll finish that out. Right? So, if you use this information to get free, do not blame me. Blame the L, the O, the R, the D. Won't he do it? Oh yes, he'll do it. So what you need to do is get this knowledge and start to pursue it. I'm King Stevian, representing the 100 Kings and the 100 Queens. I am out. Peace.
1099 A-OK-A, 1099 A-OK-A, 1099 A-OK-A, 1099 A-OK. 1099 abandoned no acquisition by the way of the IRS, the Treasury, and the IMF, the bank babies with the gold footprints. Water Street tried to market me, I had to hit him with a 1099 OID. 100 Kings and Queens and King Raji. I did a Form 56 and put the trustee on the crucifix. Now watch this. Who is this? That you were living non-corporation or a figment of your imagination? 7 steps, Shabbat Shalom, like back in Brooklyn, pay the dawn. My beneficiaries have to eat too. I just administer the schedule, affidavit of ownership, barcode and notification of record, corrected, public notice, the penile gland in full lotus, like a cobra, not COVID. I'm not sick on 730. I'm at the age of majority with good sense manifesting. Thank God for King Stevian. To all, don't forget to get your king, queen, coin. Fractionalize the rhymes that I write, so I started with the 100 mil. I couldn't hold back the smile, negotiable instrument, 412 and 411. Better get this down low, let's go. The journey started off uphill, then got real. Now I feel legal tender. Shouts out to Mr. Gold and Silver and all the kings and queens. I yield, that's real. 1099 abandonment or acquisition by the way of the IRS, the Treasury, and the IMF, the bank babies with the gold footprints. Water Street tried to market me, I had to hit them with a 1099 OID. 100 Kings and Queens and King Raji. I did a Form 56 and put the trustees on the crucifix. That's 1099 abandoned or acquisition by the way of the IRS, the Treasury, and the IMF, the bank babies with the gold footprints. Water Streets tried to market me, I had to hit them off with a 1099 OID. 100 Kings and Queens and King Raji. I did a Form 56 and put the trustees on the crucifix. That's it.